Hello and welcome back to Everybody Loves Raiken, our 5 edition, 5E D&D podcast. Everybody's here except for Yukikaze, the Dragonborn fighter, who will be along shortly, hopefully. He said he had something he had to accomplish quickly. We gave him some time. Still waiting for him. But we're gonna get started while we wait. So, last time, you guys finally got to do some Underdark combat. I know that Raiken had been waiting for that for a long time to finally get some fight things. And it was an interesting fight indeed. Perhaps turned out a little easier than it should have, but I'm not sad about that. It was a good fight. I enjoyed that everybody immediately thought they were under attack by mimics because of the similarity of the creatures, but the party was attacked by ropers as they were being led through the Underdark by a Deep Gnome named Chult, as they had quickly lost their way in the dark and winding tunnels. Chult is a talkative little guy who likes to communicate with his lizard, Daniel. And it was as he was leading them across this large chamber in this tunnel here that one of the stalagmites came alive and grabbed up Jebel, and a fight ensued. The party was victorious, and I don't think they were too badly drained by the fight. So, this is the first of many dangers of the Underdark. So, as the rumbling of the cavern around you, as the creature's last throes of death fade away, we'll hear the familiar voice of Chult echoing down the large tunnel to the east as he says, "Masters, are you alive still?" He's going to creeping back down the tunnel. Hello? As he approaches Leah, he's going to reach out and prod you, Leah, with what appears to be a metal iron pickaxe.
Okay, I'll quickly snap around and point my wand at him.
He puts his hand up. You can see the mining tool waving above his head, glinting softly with your devil's sight. I wasn't trying to injure you, Master.
Just don't do that. It startles me.
1,000 apologies, Master. If everyone's still alive, we should keep moving.
I believe so, though hurt.
You're hurt?
What was those things?
Living stone. Call them ropers due to the rope-like nature of their tentacles as they reach out and pull in their prey to be devoured. You're very lucky you weren't eaten.
No, luck has nothing to do with it.
Perhaps. If you're ready, Daniel says that we should keep moving. These tunnels aren't safe. Less so now that you've made such a racket.
Yeah.
He's going to tuck the pickaxe back into his belt. He's going to begin moving slowly down the tunnel ahead again. Come along then, masters.
Everyone low.
Lorelai will meet up with Leah. Though
Yes.
Leah still don't see her though, but I guess she knows her presence when she lands on her shoulder.
What was that, Thomas?
How does everyone look? Is anyone looking badly injured or?
Laramendus looks unharmed.
Yeah, Raiken.
What?
Larraman just said he looked unharmed, and so does Raiken.
Oh, yeah. All I heard from that was just Raiken.
Yeah, same. Leah doesn't look hurt either.
Lindar's a little beat up, but he's not bloodied.
Okay. Leah.
I said I'm fine.
Okay. Yuki's not here yet. So I'm going to cast. Ooh, where is it? Cast Healing Word on Vendar just to get him.
Okay, you may roll the number of dice for the spell slot you're expending.
Minimized.
I would point out to you that Healing Word is pretty low efficiency for a spell slot to healing. It's most useful.
Oh yeah, it's still on the same thing as Cure Wounds.
Right. So a same level Cure Wounds is going to do a lot more healing. The nice thing about Healing Word is that you do it as a bonus action, which is good for combat. Ranged.
Yeah, and Cure Wounds is touch, yeah.
Right, exactly. If you're not in combat, you can do whichever one you want, but I think if you're not in combat, you'll probably prefer to use Cure Wounds over Healing Word.
Yeah. I'll just tap Vendar with at the end of the staff. And he gets back 9 hit points.
9. You bonk him on the head and he feels better.
Looks like Yukikaze looks unharmed.
We should keep going. I'm doing fine, but a little bit annoyed for I wasted a spell on an illusion.
Can't help it.
Oh, I did want to say, just so other people are aware, since Larmendus would have explained when first casting the telepathic bond, my intent with it would be to stop every 40 minutes, or 40 minutes after casting the spell in order to recast it, since it takes 10 minutes, to minimize the chances of it running out at the wrong moment if something interrupts the casting. So I figured everyone should be aware that was how that spell was being intended to be used.
That 40-minute point is fast approaching. I imagine this is going to be your second or third casting today already.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to try and stop here to do it?
I think it's probably best to get a little distance between us and the area of combat before doing that.
Okay. So, are you going to continue, group back up and continue following Chult then?
I'd like to say one thing after the telepathic bond. I don't think. Do you guys think we could maybe make it from here on our own? I don't want to follow this guy if we can avoid it. I feel like he knew very well that we'd be caught by these things. To use them as a trap.
Yet he still checked back on us.
Yes, to see if his trap worked.
That's not that's not what I'm. The intention I picked up when he spoke to me.
Can't you read minds?
Yes, I can. He's currently out of range at the moment.
I mean, he's right in front of us.
He's still more than 30 feet away from me, at least with where I'm currently positioned on the map.
Jebba will just gesture and so go to him.
I thought we had grouped up by now.
I mean, I've moved everybody closer to each other, but Chult is moving slowly on, waiting for you to follow after him, and it seemed to me that... Excuse me, Cyrus' question was to stop you from following him. So he's continuing to get farther away at the moment.
I am not confident that I could necessarily make sure that we got there in the quickest or even the safest possible manner. If we wish to take a fair amount of time, we could use my divination spells to slowly piece together a route.
Better idea. I can try and use detect thoughts to just extract the safest route from here to the city from him by asking him about it.
So far, he's been following the purple moss.
Or detect thoughts to find out if he knew about these things.
Well, both.
I might be able to track it if the purple moss leads the way, but I'm not entirely sure yet.
Either way, we'll need to follow him in order to detect thoughts. And I gesture.
Alright, I'll try and catch up to the Deep Gnome, whose name I've forgotten.
Chult. You catch up as a group as he continues heading down this tunnel as it winds. It seems to rise and fall, twisting left and right unpredictably. You notice as you continue on, away from this cave, 40, 50, 100 feet, that the temperature begins to climb.
Alright. Before we get very far, I will, subtly cast Detect Thoughts.
On the points.
Yep. 1 minute. Try cheat. Boop. And boop. So I'd ask Chult. Did you know those things were there?
Daniel hadn't said anything about them. As you listen to his thoughts, you notice that there is a patina, a sticky film of static over his mind. You find it very difficult to get anything of import out. You can hear him humming to himself in his own mind, and you can also hear a crisp, dark voice whispering to him.
So something else is already in there. Crap. And those thoughts will be sent out over the telepathic bond. Just kind of absent-mindedly.
Very well. the rest of the party hears through the telepathic link that you believe something is in there.
Can you pick up what's being telepathed at him?
Tristan? Can I attempt to do that?
The snippets of voice that you pick up through this haze, this crackle, which again sounds to you as static might, seems to be a deep and cunning voice saying, "You must keep moving. Monsters are coming to the sound. They will find you if you do not move."
Alright. I'll relay that to the group through bond. And I'd also like to see if there's any other thinking beings within 30 feet that I'm not aware of. Specifically, I'd also like to know if the lizard is a targetable creature for this, in case that actually is possibly polymorphed or somehow otherly disguised.
It is a good thought. However, the lizard does not appear to have a mind capable of holding thought for your detect thoughts, and you do not detect any living beings that you cannot identify as part of your party.
But it doesn't necessarily mean I'm wrong, though, because if it doesn't speak a language, which certain things don't, look no further than the Ropers.
Mm-hmm. There could be unthinking creatures or uncomplex thinking creatures. The tunnel continues to wind for several hundred more feet as you walk in this dark and claustrophobic silence. Again, the temperature continues to tick up slowly as you continue forward, until finally you can feel the perspiration running down your face and into your eyes. Except, of course, for the Dragonborn, who don't sweat, because lizards don't sweat.
Well, hopefully I'm not in that bad a shape, because I think I'm still in the desert silks.
It is noticeably warm. And finally, you do catch a dim glow up ahead. You feel almost as if the tunnel is going to open out into another one of those caverns filled with the bioluminescent mushrooms. And after a fashion, that is somewhat what happens. You find that the left-hand wall of the cave falls away, and you are now on an outcropping of mostly level rock overlooking a deep ravine. And the area is illuminated with an orange light, and if you look over the edge, you can see that at the bottom, where the walls seem to come together, there is an orange river flowing.
There is one more question I was wanting to ask while the Tech Thoughts was still on. Mm-hmm. And that's ask him, I doubt I can get things out of him with the fuzz in his mind, but I'd ask, where is it you're taking us?
Wherever it is the masters wish to go. You said Umbrelite last time. Is that not where you want to go, masters?
It is where we wish to go. Just uncertain if that's where we're being escorted.
You can put your faith in Chult, master. He knows these caves. There are roundabout pathways that will be safer. There are direct pathways that will be less so. Chult is using a mixture of the two.
And I assume I can't read anything through the static.
You hear the deep voice again through the crackle saying, "The next right, and then down."
Okay. Then in response to that, I'm gonna tell the party. I think something else is, through the bond, of course. I think something else is leading this creature. It's giving him directions.
What do you mean creature? He's a gnome.
Sorry. The
Person.
different kind of gnome. Person. Whatever. You know what I meant. This isn't time to be arguing semantics.
I'm a gnome too.
Yes, I know. Sorry. Still, this is rather alarming, and I don't think we should be following him. Even if we're not sure where we're heading at the moment, I think any other options at this point would be better than taking chances with him.
I'm gonna cast Detect Magic.
The path narrows up ahead, masters. You'll want to be careful. Taking the tunnel after that. You won't fall. Chult cannot catch you.
Close am I to him? How close am I to Chult?
He's about 35 feet away.
Okay, I'm going to try and move like 10 feet closer to him.
You gonna do that on the cliff side or on the not cliff side? You're on a narrow path. You've got a wall on one side of you and a cliff on the other side, and this cliff leads down 100 or so foot drop into a river of lava.
Yeah. Second.
And as Chult just indicated, the path was about to get narrower, so be careful.
Let me just check something.
If he has another trap set up, it's likely going to be something that's going to try and toss us into that lava. Well, I wouldn't say lava, I guess, but toss us into that substance.
You might say lava. Lava's a word.
I just wasn't sure if that would be something they'd be aware of on the surface, because I wasn't sure if there were like any volcanoes on top.
Yeah, there are volcanoes. The party got told about a volcano that they thought the armor of Cord might be in.
Ah.
Oh, that's right. Cyrus wasn't there for that.
Cyrus wasn't there for that, so would Cyrus be aware of lava?
Would Cyrus be aware? Yes, Cyrus would be aware of lava. Yes.
Right.
Throwing us into that would likely be counterproductive to setting any kind of trap for us if the intent is to get what we have.
Fair enough, but if they're just trying to repel invaders and he's trying to just do it by himself, it would be effective.
Then he should have just let us be lost and die trying to find our way in the caves.
He could do that, but there's no telling what destruction we'd cause just wandering around.
Can you guys hear me alright?
Hey, Malachi's here.
I'm still driving, I was listening in.
Hi. Alright, well, let us know when you want to say
I
anything in
wanted-
character.
I do, that's why I chimed in.
Okay.
Well, you know, I've never been super strong with magic, and I don't remember the lessons from earlier on. What is your magic a lot of mental reliant magic casters?
I missed what the question was.
Is your mind a huge part of your magic?
The mind is necessary to focus the energies required for magic.
Even in my case.
Well, mine is more where I always think about battle tactics. I've never been able to really focus on magic. It's never been something I can do. That's why I'm asking. And my concern that's always in the back of my mind is, maybe these brain sucker bastards can control other people's minds. Just a thought.
Possible.
That's why they like brains.
Do you know anything about them? It could be what's hampering this gnome guide.
That was just a thought I had. Just wanted to pass it by you guys.
And I will repeat the question again. Do you know anything about these creatures?
I would have to roll what I read, and if I read anything, or how much knowledge I gained from talking to the our drow friends from the city.
Yeah, if you want to check your history, I've got your sheet here. I can make the roll if you are still driving.
Yeah, go ahead and make the roll, please.
Okay. Check history.
It should be a +4.
Got good memory. It is. You got an 18 on the die, so that's a 22. What you remember from Zephyrius teaching you about the dangers of the Underdark is that on the deep paths, far from the surface, and encroaching on the territory of the Drow, live these mind flayers, and normally the fear is that they will use some sort of trickery to lure a victim in, and then they will physically attack them to remove their brain.
Okay, I will convey that or I will answer Cyrus's question with that response.
Okay. Then we should absolutely not follow this gnome. He's under some sort of influence, and we've been going down and down and down ever since we started following him. I think we're being led into the lair of the brain suckers.
Quick. I wouldn't want to run into them. I also would want to be lost in this place.
But we
Because
have
there's
other
an
options.
concern.
I would like to kill one or two of them.
Of course you would.
And I wouldn't like to be killed by one or two of them.
And
rather
didn't
keep
I
my
also
brain.
repeat that I can heal physical wounds? I can't heal my brain.
They'll just protect your head then.
Helmets are for. You wear a helmet, right?
Not really.
Ooh, well. Decisions were made.
You probably do. If you have one piece of armor, you have a helmet. If you have two, you have a helmet and something over your body.
I'm not going to tell people how they have to choose for their armor to lay, but I will concur. You okay?
I accidentally pressed my alarm. Getting out of my car.
I will concur that it is usually true that any description of things above light armor include that they have a cap or a helmet as you go up. And they get beefier and more helmet-like.
Okay, well, you want to know what sense of my, dislike of the thought of these creatures I will be wearing one? Without a doubt.
I think that's reasonable. So you're fine. Totally fine.
The way they could get through a helmet. So they've never encountered one of them before.
What?
You want to know? You just keep your mouth shut.
How about Cyrus? Would you like to make an Arcana check?
Sure.
Or
Come
me?
on, big number. That is not what I
Can I
asked for.
aid him in his Arcana check because the telepathic bond and all of that? I don't imagine that I can make one myself since I don't have as good information.
He
about how
described
effective
what
ones
he
are.
was sensing, so you may also make an Arcana check.
I got a 13.
I mean, I got a 17.
Isn't that like a 1 for you?
It is indeed a 1.
Does anyone have inspiration to give this man?
It's fine. With a 13, you know that there are magical ways of shielding one's thoughts. With a 17, you know that there are some creatures, some, phyla of creatures that are inherently better shielded against magic, especially mental magic, which could be what's causing this interference. Just as a second probability in line, to rank against he's being controlled by some other creature. Just because so far, Cyrus has not detected any other thinking beings in range, and you've been walking a while.
But he's at least in communication with another creature. Sounds like from what Cyrus was saying.
From what Cyrus has said, that is what it sounds like, yes.
Maybe he's just schizophrenic. That's Daniel. I'm guessing that probably is Daniel, the voice in his head, though.
I can neither confirm nor deny any of your speculations. You will simply have to decide what you think is going on and act however you think is appropriate in the situation. He is continuing to lead you, though, as it seems to me that this discussion, while a debate on whether to allow him to continue to lead you, is going on while following him. Is that accurate?
I mean, I'd be trying to get the group to stop, but I need to stick with the group because even if we're following this guy, I'm better off with this group than on my own.
I want to say a slowed pace has happened.
Aren't you at the head of the group?
Yes, which is why I'd be successful at slowing you down.
You'd think you'd be successful slowing us down. You've got 6 people pushing up against you.
That's
Yeah, they're literally
probably
just
not
rolling
pushing
you
up
through the
against
tunnels.
everyone.
The first one being a dragonborn that wants combat.
I mean, so it does seem to you, Raiken, that Cyrus is moving in a way that would cause the group to slow down. And you do see the distance between you and your guide growing as you follow this ever-narrowing stone outcropping over a river of lava.
What gives? We're falling behind. I want to roll survival with terrain and the knowledge of where Umbrelite was, because it would have had a description of its environment where it was located, with what we researched. So I could know if we've gone too far, possibly. That's what I'm trying to roll for, is if we've gone too far.
Okay, have a roll. What, Guaco?
As we get close to where there's lava, I'm gonna sniff the air and be like, Raiken, I'm right behind you.
Yeah, it does smell sulfurous here.
It wasn't me.
Sure. Oh,
Alright, so what can I use? Can I use survival with it, or do you want me to use something else just to...
Survival sounds like it makes sense to me. Roll survival.
Alright, so that will be 17.
Alright, that's pretty good. You know that the that Umberlight is deep. You know that Umberlight is distant to the south and east of Volinar. So while it is near impossible to tell directions as you've been going through these dark, winding caves, you know that at the end of all this, you should be probably somewhere out beneath the Draconian Sea. The channel that separates Arcosia from the mainland. It is likely that there are these tectonic geological events in the area, so it's hard to use this as a guide of whether you're in the right area or not. But you have a gut feeling that you've been heading generally in the right direction.
Alright. Well, Cyrus, I want to say that, or to even everyone, that even if this is kind of suspicious, we could go forward with extreme caution. Because it's hard to know I don't know this terrain, but with my nomad, like my skills with traveling, I feel that we're kind of going in the right direction.
I would argue that even if this was not suspicious, we should proceed with extreme caution, as we are in the Underdark.
That is fair, but like I mean extreme caution, like almost jump at anything we hear. So that's my 2 cents. You can take it or leave it.
I'm just going to message to Cyrus. Can you see where this ledge ends?
Who was that directed to?
That's Cyrus.
Can I see where the ledge ends?
Yeah, do you mean...
Like when this thing where the narrow path we're on widens back up again?
Oh, it will dive back into an enclosed tunnel some 100 feet ahead, but it looks like it's going to become very much like you have to sidle along the wall as you go toward the end of it.
I say we say that we need to stop for a quick rest. Once we get away from here. Give us some time just to,
In the middle of your talking, suddenly everyone stops hearing Jebel.
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
The line is dead.
To the voice in the sky, is this the timing of the spell? Or is this...
This would be the timing of the spell.
Okay. I will audibly say, when we're safe, we should pause to recast our spells.
What's that, Master? We're almost to the cave ahead. Remember, watch your footing here. It's very dangerous.
Is that lava?
Yes. It's good. You can find many precious gems melted into the stone down there.
I've never seen lava. Only heard of it.
Alone, I would go down, and yes, I know, Daniel. We're almost away. Come, you're falling behind. Masters.
I'll stop slowing the group down, and I'll just try and get through to the next wider section.
Okay. It does, as he warned, become incredibly narrow, and he, being very small, doesn't have any trouble across it. Anybody whose size category is small will have no trouble across it. Those in the medium size category will need to make a DC 13 dexterity, acrobatics, or athletics check.
Athletic is strength based.
It is.
Ha
Ow. You said DC 13?
DC 13.
Yeah, I got 13.
Good. It's not super high, but you could fail.
Yukikaze is just strolling along, no problems at all. I got a 21.
Nice. It does
ha!
require
17.
a 17. It does require you to quiet your minds and focus on it, but you find that it is not difficult.
Got a 19.
Nobody got less than a 13, I take it.
No.
Cool.
I was very prepared to have to cast a spell.
Featherfall, oh wait.
I have that one, just not prepared. I was going to cast Dimension Door.
A much more useful spell. Featherfall would just mean that you hit the lava gently.
It's true. You get time to cook before you know,
Yeah,
burn.
exactly.
Well, then you could just stick your thumb in the air once you're all the way in.
That's true. Laramendus could go like Terminator. I mean, it's not how he planned on it, but
Sadly, lava doesn't work like that.
It does today.
Is
I
Fredboat
don't
having some
recall,
kind of problem?
Hmm?
Fredboat just keeps stopping after like 2 minutes of playing. And I gave it a 3-hour thing.
Try the other one. What was the other one again?
Rhythm won't play anything that's very long, so I need to find something shorter. Yeah, it's 3 hours. Oh well. I think it can play a regular adventuring tune anyway, so we'll just go with that for now. But yeah, that's frustrating. Sorry.
In regards to Laramendus, thumbs up in the lava. You know, it's a very cool image, but I think the screaming in agony probably would detract from it.
Won't be much of a scream if you hit lava, you just spontaneously combust.
Yeah, it's not really spontaneous. You hit lava.
I mean, with Featherfall, he might be falling slow enough that you'd get all the screaming and agony and burning before that. And he
It
might be
close the
dead
light
by the
on
time
fire
he
before you hit the lava.
Yeah, on the way down, absolutely, yeah. It's hot.
Luckily, Laramendus did not fall and does not have Featherfall prepared. So,
Yeah, well, when I was visiting a volcano in Greece, the tour guide talked about like the gas outlets that is on the volcano, like the certain like holes that steam comes up. They said that the temperature there is way too hot. You don't, for God's sake, put anything over there. You had someone in the past that didn't listen to that message and put their foot over, and the shoe turned into a flip flop and had to be surgically removed.
Fun. Alright then, so you manage not to trip or slip or fall at the narrowest portion, and you do find that the wall of the cave, the pathway dives back into the wall of the cave, and up ahead, just about 50 feet, you see it fork, and you can, because I believe you all have 60 feet of dark vision?
Yeah.
Okay. About 50 feet ahead, you can see that it forks, and that Chult is guiding you toward the right.
Right.
Once we reach near the fork, Jebba was with. Would here be a good place to stop?
Stopping is not well advised, Master. Is it very important?
Slightly.
yes. About 10 minutes.
10. Yes. Yes, I know. Well, I will be waiting just on a little ways here. And he walks about 20 feet up ahead and sits down and begins digging through his pack. I suggest you hurry along, whatever it is you're doing, masters.
I am going to ritual cast, what's it called again? Commune with nature.
Okay.
I haven't the slightest clue how that works.
Laramentis begins casting Rary's telepathic bond, and I will be right back.
So, if you're ritually casting Commune with Nature, it's going to take you... Sam, is it plus 10 minutes or times 10 minutes?
Plus 10 minutes.
Plus 10.
Okay, so it's 11 minutes. So Rary's is actually going to finish first. This has a casting time of 1 minute.
Raiken is also going to cast Divine Sense, or uses Divine Sense.
Okay. And that's going to allow you to detect fiends and angels and undead?
Yes. Within 60 feet.
Okay. You tap into your divine senses, opening your mind to all of the goods and evils of the world. And you find that at least in this space on the material plane, you are not in danger or in the presence of any angels.
Alright.
No, I guess Kubriel isn't summoned.
Gabriel summoned.
Been so
No.
long since we've seen Meow Meow.
Raiken did not figure being in the caves, cramped caves, would be very helpful. Having a giant cat with them.
No, absolutely not. I
That'd
mean,
be
walking on
difficult.
this narrow path would be very difficult. No, well, it's a cat.
It's a large cat, though. It wouldn't fit.
Yeah, but it's still a cat. I'm pretty sure it can balance.
Not when there's not enough space to put its feet down.
Have you seen cats balance? They absolutely balance a thing that's way too small for them to actually be standing on, but they still do it.
What is that when they have command of both sides of it? This was against a wall.
Yeah.
Ah, well. That is a good point, though.
In any event. So let's see.
Tristan, I sent you a message about how this would...
Yeah, no, I'm reading
work
the
for me
spell.
now.
I pulled it up already.
No, but I mean, like, it gives me, there's a list of 5 things that you can possibly know, but it's like up to 3 of those. So I sent you
Okay.
what the things I'm looking for. And the important point about being in a cave or underground.
Okay. The... Okay. You do gain knowledge of the mushrooms. You through your you sit down and meditate for 11 minutes, and as you do so, you feel your mind separate from your body as it drifts down into the rock and soil of the cave, and you feel the knowledge of the ages pouring into you as you feel the passage of creatures of all different sizes through these tunnels, hear the echo of their cries and voices, and you become aware of the things on a deep and okay. Yeah, on a deep level, as though you have been a denizen within this 300-foot sphere all your life. You are aware of which of these these plants around you produce light, the reason for their colors, which ones are edible and which ones are poisonous, and what types of beasts feed upon them. You become aware of creatures such as the ropers, which take the form of stone formations to try and devour creatures such as yourself as they pass through. You are also aware of creatures like Chult, deep gnomes from all different places and walks of life here for different reasons, with different beliefs. Some helpful, others hurtful. You are aware of the drow that pass through these tunnels. You are aware of the Dwergar, which are the deep dwarves, who are dark caste and generally foul-mooded. They get along better with the drow beholden to Lolth than other races. You become aware of a fey creature that more recently entered the areas and began prowling these tunnels, searching for meals. In your mind, as the caves themselves, you see lithe, six-legged, feline creatures whose form becomes distorted and unknowable. You become aware of humanoid creatures, much less frequently walking these tunnels, who dress in a manner alien to any culture you have observed before, who do bear the tentacle-like appendages on their face that were described to you by Yukikaze and Zephyrius. For minerals, you are aware of the important gemstones which Chult has mentioned, these being rubies and sapphires and diamonds, as well as obsidian glass, which forms at the edges of the lava flows. All of these can be harvested and used for magic or construction or art.
Oh, pretty.
This place is generally devoid of powerful celestials. The Fae, the most powerful Fae, would be those felines. The fiends are numerous, as they are servants to Lolth and other dark gods that roam these tunnels. But they take the forms of imps and giant spiders alike. Elementals, you will be aware that due to the presence of the lava flow, there is an abundance of fire elementals nearby, as well as earth elementals at any given time, but they move freely. They are not necessarily denizens. Undead are uncommon here.
I mean, if you use the sense thing, you would notice a fey presence on Leah's shoulder.
Indeed. You could not see it, but you know that Lorelei is there.
It says powerful Fae.
Mm-hmm. Rude.
Yes.
Within 300 feet, buildings there are not, but caves there are many, and they are used as homes and lairs. The range isn't long enough to let you know where Umbralite is, or if you are on the right path, but you are now aware within your own mind of the safe passages and pathways as well as the dangerous ones. At least geologically speaking. And in some cases, because of what lurks. You will be able to avoid them. I will give you a heads up if your guide begins to lead you on any of these.
So, like, if I'm above ground, it has a range of 3 miles.
Which would have been much more helpful than 300 feet, but them's the breaks. So, after 11 minutes, and you hear that Chult is pacing back and forth, going, I really think we should be moving on, masters. This place is becoming less safe the longer we take ya.
Agreed. And does Larabendus alert us that he has cast?
Yeah, once the
Telepath
spell
around.
is cast, Larmendus will telepath to everyone that the spell has been cast. We should be good for another hour.
So once I'm done, I'll just stand back up again, and then over the telepathy, just kind of share the key bits of information I have learned.
You may. The most important bits of information are ones that are very difficult to express in words because you feel the layout of these caves in your very being now, at least within 300 feet. You understand how they move and flow. Because you were them for 10 minutes.
And also that there are mind flayers about. If not present at the moment, then that they are occasionally in this area. That's how I understood that.
As I said, you are given knowledge of this area by having the experience of the area over generations poured into you, so you do know that these creatures that fit the description of the Mind Flayers have passed here, but you know they are the least frequent of those that trod.
Alright.
If you're quite finished, masters, we've got a ways to go yet.
Have you still been following the moss?
Moss, mistress?
No, that wasn't in character. I asked the voice in the sky because I pay attention to him. Have you always been?
There haven't been turn-offs until now.
Ah, okay.
And he didn't seem to need to test the wall this time.
Right. But are there any colorful moss here? Or is it...
Again, I just want to point out that it's lichen that he's been touching. Something that would be very difficult to notice and understand the presence or meaning of. Moss is more like a small grass. This is like algae. This is algae.
Okay.
But yes, there is that about. The one he is passing by this time is blue.
Okay.
You can see it growing, smeared around the cave. It seems to be in smaller patches here than elsewhere. It could be that it's negatively affected by the nearby heat.
Yeah, I mean, algae would require it to be wet, I assume, and there's likely not much moisture here.
it feels a bit drier here than elsewhere. But there is still the drip of condensing water from somewhere above.
Okay. Oh, that's not good for my hair. Combination of moist and heat.
Everybody's gonna be frizzed out at the end of this.
If we live.
Raiken might not.
Raiken is bald.
He's not bald. He just has scales.
We're taking one of
There's
the
a difference.
We're taking one of the shortcuts ahead, masters. So be wary. There may be dangers there. I'm going to keep a low profile. I recommend you do the same.
What kind of dangers are we talking about?
Beasts of any nature.
How long are you expecting it to take us to get to Umberlight?
It's not nearby, lad. It's quite a distance. But if we keep up your pace, it could take days. Luckily, I'm charging you by the hour. So, if you want to tarry longer, far be it from me to stop you, masters.
How can it tell the passing of days down here?
You learn over time. The creatures all have a cycle that they follow. Some are active at night, and others are active during the day. I am not certain if that necessarily matches up with your meaning of night and day, but they are what we call night and day. Who is out there, lurking? Shadows.
It's a bit creepy.
It is. We're heading toward day now. The day lurkers are fierce. We should move. Quickly now, follow me. Chult knows the way. Just up ahead. We're going to be heading down soon. He leads you on for maybe another hour or so through winding passages. These definitely seem to head more down than up. You can feel the land sloping away, and you begin to get a sense of the change in feeling as you get lower or higher in elevation, for lack of a better word. You do feel as though you are deeper now than you have been. Perhaps not yet at the same level as that river of lava, but closer to it. And it is at this time, Bendar, that you do become aware of something prowling.
I'll let the party know. The telepathy. There's something prowling around here. Can I tell what it is? Or where exactly?
You feel it first with your senses, hearing the low growl as it echoes softly through the cave. Your heightened perception allowing you to pick up on it before anyone else. It feels bestial, not human. As you listen for its movements, you find that it must be at least quadrupedal, moving on 4 legs, and it is lithe and quiet. You mostly hear it brushing against the rocks as the cavern widens and narrows, and you enter more chambers like the one before with stalagmites and stalactites. You feel now and again that you can sense a shadow. You are being stalked.
Have we stopped because Vendar mentioned this?
Well, he didn't mention it to the guide, so the guide didn't stop.
Can I roll perception to see if I sense this thing?
You may roll perception.
Ooh. 18 plus 8 is 26.
Yes. As he mentions it, you attune yourself to the darkness and listen carefully. You also begin to hear this guttural noise, this droning hum of a low growl, as something pads along in your wake.
Can I gauge about how far away it is?
It's getting closer.
Then I am going to alert everyone to this fact.
So you're going to,
Like, ready my bow.
Inform Chult.
Yeah. Chult, there's something coming up for us.
Quiet,
behind?
Daniel. I hear it. We must move quickly. Quickly, into that tunnel! He points ahead to the end of the chamber you're in. There are several holes dotting the wall, but you can clearly see the one he's picked out at the end of his finger. It's there. We must get there now. And he begins running toward it.
I don't plan to hesitate. I'm trying to follow, but there's people in front of me.
I will follow because I don't want no brain sucking.
So, as the party breaks into a run toward this tunnel, and Chult approaches the darkening maw, you hear the cat-like cry, like the sound of a leopard or a lion as it strikes, and you become aware of a shadow darker than the shadows around you, as your dark vision allows you to perceive, if only barely better than what you'd hoped, this black creature against the black stone walls as it leaps down and swipes at Chult, knocking him to the ground. Before you... I'm going to just use this map here for simplicity. It's knocked aside. There we go.
Wait. What? Something is...
Oh, that.
Well, this is considered combat.
Oh man.
Because I if this is like just before combat, like I don't it's because know your enemies if you spend at least 1 minute observing or interacting with another creature.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm observing him doing stuff, would I be able to use that?
I mean, you haven't been observing this animal for a minute.
Okay.
It
Well, if it
literally,
becomes
it was
that-
unseen, and like seriously, 10 seconds ago, or maybe a little bit more, your party was
That's
like, "Something's here. It's a problem. It's hunting us. It's getting closer." And then they told Chult, and Chult heard it. Told Daniel he heard it and knew it was there, and said to run for the tunnel.
That's all I need.
Okay.
Got it.
So he gets swiped to the side as this creature lands, is when you become aware of it. So it basically made an unseen attack against him, and now that its attack has landed, you are aware of it. This creature stands before you, a large black panther-looking creature, only it has 6 powerful-looking legs, and these 2 spiked tentacles, like a squid's tentacles, rising over its head, and it glowers at you with these eyes that burn like embers in the dark.
So I want to roll history because of all the research we do. 24.
24. It is one of the creatures that was listed as quite rare, but does prowl areas, including the Underdark. You know that the literature you read called a creature fitting this description a displacer beast, named for the fact that it is incredibly difficult to track or hit because of its the very peculiar properties of its body. As it stands before you, its muscles rippling and growling at you, you do see this almost shimmer run over its body, and a second one appears next to it.
Alright. So I will quickly speak and say, this is an extremely rare monster here. It is super hard to hit, and that's it.
Well, it's going to be even more rare once this one's dead.
You know what this thing is? We talked about these before.
Have we talked about displacer beasts before?
Possibly a little. I don't know. In any event, you may roll a tentative initiative just to see how things are going to go right now. You know what? Let's just call it
Christ's sake.
initiative.
Watch. This time I'm gonna roll low. Oh,
Raiken,
Dice,
do your thing.
Dice is being so forgiving today. I'm probably gonna hit more shit.
Initiative is so bad lately.
Raiken did his thing, as usual.
Nice. Raiken is at the beginning of initiative. Good job, man.
If the beginning is towards the bottom.
I mean, maybe.
It's backwards day.
You
The
just-
lowest people go first.
So you just like bottom all the time.
Yikes. That guy. This. Lara, what'd you got?
15.
Vendar, what'd you got?
17.
Yuki, what'd you got?
22.
Wow. Cyrus, what'd you got?
Oh wait,
17.
natural 20 makes me at the top regardless, right?
Yes.
Oh, so yeah, I got nat 20.
Okay. 17, Cyrus?
Yep.
Okay. I think Vendar's dex is higher.
Oh wait, sorry. 16. I misread the die for a second.
Oh, okay.
bad.
Raiken.
10.
You did better than last initiative. Devil.
6.
Leah.
9.
9. Alrighty. Malachi over here with the nat 20. Beast.
Like I told you, I'm gonna roll like crap. For
Yeah,
hitting.
but you're gonna do it quickly.
Bright. I'll eventually hit it. Whoa! Swinging like a madman.
in the
Indubitably.
yes, in Beedly Doodly. Okay, that looks like it's in order. Wait. Okay, so initiative. Boom. There you have it. This thing lands in front of you, bashes your guide to the side. He goes down, and he rolls himself into a protective ball as it looms over him, and it turns immediately toward you and snarls. You see just a mouthful of snaggling teeth beneath these glowing ember eyes. And I mean a truly unnatural and malevolent glow to its eyes. And these two tendrils seem to be coming out of its shoulder, looping back, and then they come forward, and they just sort of hover there like hands waiting to strike. Yuki, you are at the back of the column. What do you do?
Draw my weapons, run forward next to Raiken on the bottom, so that way I am closest to the monster.
So with 30 feet, you can get here.
No, I want to be back one because I'm gonna like body block the tunnel, but not put myself away from everyone.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I want to be, ready to do an action or take a defensive stance.
Okay, you are now in defensive stance, which makes it the Displacer Beast's turn. Again, as you look upon it with your dark vision, you find that its form shimmers and shivers and doubles, and you can't tell anymore which is the right creature. It's almost like when you are trying to look at something that's too close to your face, and you see two images of it, one from each eye, and you try to reach out with the wrong hand to touch that second image, and you just pass through it. It has that kind of quality, is what you feel like you're looking at. It's messing with your mind. And you see those tendrils rise up above it, and they lash forward and strike at Cyrus.
Miss.
Miss.
Let's see, for Cyrus, it is going to make tentacle attacks. The first one is a 24 to hit.
That'll hit.
Okay. You are going to take 7 points of non-magical bludgeoning damage, and an additional 3 points of non-magical piercing damage. The second attack is a 21.
That'll hit.
Okay, then you will take an additional 10 total damage, 7 bludgeoning, 3 piercing.
Okay.
And then it is going to turn and run down the tunnel. At full bore, it moves about 40 feet away in one bound.
What a coward.
Alright, could I make an attack of opportunity?
I don't believe so, but let me check.
Okay.
Because I think that even with Warcaster, the attack of opportunity still has to be triggered like a melee one, even if you're using a spell.
Well, I don't even have Warcaster.
What are you trying to
I
do?
just thought, was it not in melee range?
It used reach 10 to hit you.
I missed that. Never mind.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. Its original square, just so that you're aware, was here.
Yeah, sorry,
And
I
it
was
hit you
looking at
without
stats,
moving
I
any
didn't have to
closer. Those tentacles on its back literally whipped forward and swatted you one at a time. and then it
Okay.
bounded away without ever entering your melee reach.
My bad. Then I had my stats up. I didn't see where it was attacking from.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, sorry, that's fine. No, it never got close enough to opportunity. It is running away now. So it is now Vendar's turn. It is down this narrowing tunnel, bounding at a downward slope away from you. You've got the party between you and it. What are you going to do?
So can I go up next to, I guess, behind Yukikaze?
You want to go here.
Yeah, and then try to take a shot at it with the Guinator.
Okay. You may try to take a shot at it with the Guinator. You are at disadvantage,
Okay.
as you just can't seem to get your mind to understand which one you're supposed to be looking at.
And I will use poison.
Looks like he's just barely inside your sight range, even.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's like right at 60. Oh,
Yeah. So yeah, you can see him, but he is just about to get away.
So that's an 18 to hit.
With disadvantage?
Yeah.
Cool. Cool. And 18 will hit.
Oh, nice. So it's got to roll a DC 19 con check.
It did not make that.
Then it takes full poison damage.
Alright, remember that there's no sneak attack dice because of the disadvantage.
It's so ridiculous.
And also because you don't have an ally next to it.
Man, I was insane.
And it's too far.
I had absolutely no way to get sneak attack on that attack.
Does sneak attack have a maximum range of 30?
Oh no,
Nope.
not in this edition.
I didn't think so.
That was an old edition thing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So that's 7 fire damage.
7 fire damage. Okay.
And 39 poison damage.
39 poison damage. Okay. Your arrow strikes it. Your bolt of poisoned fire strikes it and burns it as it runs. And what you notice is that as it is at the edge of your vision, as the arrow strikes, that its form seems to shimmer again, and it's like your mind is finally able to focus on it, and it seems to snap into one solid image.
Nice. Quick, kill it. Okay, my turn's over.
Okay, that makes it Cyrus' turn.
All right. I'm going to. Let's see. Should we enough range? I'm going to cast Fireball. I need to make a dex save.
Okay. throw your fireball. It got a 20.
Alright, it will save. I will just use the bot. It's a lot of dice. 6. Okay, so wow, that's a lot of 2s. Alright, so it takes half of, let's see, 7, 30, 32. It takes half of 32.
Which would be 16. You throw the acorn of fire from your hand down the tunnel, where it erupts and fills the tunnel wall to wall, engulfing your target. And as the blinding orange light begins to close down into drifting embers, and you become aware of the tunnel again, you see the back of this creature as it continues to run away, looking entirely unharmed.
Oh joy, it's a Vendar clone. It can evade things. Either that or it's immune, which would also suck. I'm going to move 1 square north and 1 square to the right, and that'll be the end of my turn.
Learn on this.
Knowledge check on them would be which type?
Arcana.
Sweet. I'm going to do that. Gonna try the die that rolled a 1 on Arcana last time, because maybe it's
done with that shit.
over that. Yeah, it knows that was bad. Shouldn't do that. This time it got a 17 on die, which is much better.
Significantly.
That's a 33.
Yeah. You know some very interesting things about this creature. You know that it originates from the Feywild. You know that the fairy courts had a big falling out over these guys, and they were eventually driven out by the Seelie to the edges of the Feywild, where many of them tumbled into the material plane, and have therefore since then scattered to the four winds, taking up residence wherever they can find an easy meal. You know that they are intelligent. The reason there was a falling out was that the Unseelie fairies had developed them and trained them and specifically bred them to be horrible. What they didn't count on was that they'd also become smart enough to outwit and escape their breeders. So you know that they're very intelligent. You know that they can hunt either alone or in packs. You know that, magically speaking, they have a physical property which bends any amount of light around them to make it appear as if they are in multiple places at once, which is why it's so hard to hit them. You know that this property endures after death, which is why there are people who craft fashion items from their skins. You know that their attacks are mundane. You know that they are lithe and exceptionally good at evading attacks.
Do I know anything about particular resistances?
No. For all intents and purposes, they are natural beasts.
Cool. I telepath that information to, or the combat relevant information to the group, and presumably outside of combat I will explain the rest of it. With the emphasis on, while they do, well, they are perfectly capable of hunting on their own, they do sometimes hunt in packs.
Anything else for your turn?
I don't believe so, since knowledge checks like that are usually action, right?
I haven't really ruled it as an action in the past.
Okay. In that case, I currently don't think I can see it.
I can do the measuring thing. It is 65 feet away from you.
Okay. So I will move up on the next to Raiken, I suppose, as close enough that I can see it, and I will hurl a magic missile at it.
Okay.
And I will do a first level magic missile.
Okay. 3.
Yep.
3 needles fly through the air and strike the creature.
So the D4. Not bad. 12 points of force damage.
12 points of force damage.
And then I will move back to my initial location, so as not to block the way.
Okay. That brings us to Raiken.
All right. So, Raiken is close enough. He is going to use something he doesn't use that often. He's going to use his Channel Divinity and use Abjure Enemy.
Okay. What's the range on that?
60 feet.
Okay.
And so the enemy must make a Wisdom saving throw.
Okay. It got a 14.
It did not make it. So its speed is reduced to 0 for 1 minute or until it takes any damage, and it's frightened.
Okay.
And then Raiken will telepath to everyone that it is stopped. We should surround it. And then he's going to go and move up to it.
You move 30 feet. You can see that there is a bend in the tunnel not far ahead of the creature.
Okay. And that is his turn.
Leah.
Yes. Yeah, I'm just checking that I'm not muted. Okay. It's far away, but not too far from me, so I'll Eldritch Blast it.
As long as you have 60 feet of dark vision, you can do that.
Yeah, I have 120 feet of dark vision.
Then you can do that.
Yeah. Devil's Sight, you know. Let's see.
Sounds like someone's bragging here. Jeez.
Only a little. My dice rolls has been so poor today. It's annoying. That's 19.
That'll hit.
So I do want to say, for Raiken, it's not that its speed is reduced to 0, it's that it's frightened until it takes damage, and while frightened, its speed is reduced to 0.
Oh, it says creature is frightened and its speed is reduced to 0.
Either way,
For one
the
Bitcoin
entire
dollar.
effect ends once it takes damage, and it just did, so the effect just
Yeah.
ended.
I know. So didn't take my telepath to any good use. But okay.
Yeah, well,
But you didn't tell anyone not to hit it.
yeah, no,
I
Leah
said
didn't
to
know that.
surround it, which basically means let's surround it, don't hit it. But I
Well,
wasn't going to
Means
go
let's
back
surround it.
and try to retcon it.
I'm not gonna walk behind it. I'm standing here.
What's happens happens. Go with the thing.
Yeah. Leah didn't understand the message.
Stay in character. This is a learning moment.
Maybe it's a rebel coming out.
Let's see. Damage modifier plus 5, so that's... Oh yeah, once again I forgot to activate the hex. If I have spell slots left. Do I?
I don't think you do. Didn't you use both of them
Yeah,
in the
actually-
previous fight?
Concentrating.
I have...
Because can't you move it as a bonus action?
Oh no, it doesn't last that long. It's way past. But I do...
Quaco, it lasts 24 hours.
It does?
When you cast it with a 5th level spell, yeah.
Oh. Yeah, well in that case, yeah, I could just change the focus then. Yeah, then I would use a bonus action to move that first then. I do actually still have one, because I have 3 spell slots, I still have 1 spell slot left. But regardless, it's, yeah. So that's the D6 plus as well then. That's 18 points of damage. 4 of them is necrotic. You got that, Risen?
I did.
Yeah. You were silent. It worries me when you're silent.
Don't you have 2 more attacks?
Yeah. You were silent. That's another 19.
Hit.
Well, that was shite. 7 points of force and 2 points of necrotic.
Okay.
Then the last. That was very shite. I'm yet to roll a D10 above. No, not D20 about 10 today. That's 14.
Hits.
But that hits? Really?
Yeah, because it's a dead body. You hit it.
Oh. It's dead?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you could have said that.
Nope. More fun this way.
I mean, it's prone at that point, so that gives disadvantage on the ranged.
I assume I don't see any other targets.
You do not.
No. Yeah, you were saying? I said to Raiken.
Just forget it.
Chult is still laying curled up in a defensive ball.
Yeah, I use my move to get up to him.
Initiative is suspended.
Alright. We can feel that the battle has died down, so I'll sheath my weapons.
I wouldn't put those away
Probably
just yet.
Raiken never chooses weapons when they're in a combative area. He just always hits up.
Jebel is going to telepath. What exactly was that thing?
It was a displacer beast. I then begin diving into the creation of them and their expulsion from the Feywild, and continue on in that manner for probably more time than anyone wants to let me.
I'm going to approach it.
The pelts are generally quite valuable, as in the proper hands, a craftsman could retain some of the inherent properties of the beast.
Ooh.
I don't know that we can take it anywhere with us, or that we should, but it is the case.
Did Larmendus explain the nature of it? Like, is it not a beast? Like, on the monster type?
Sam is unaware of what monster type it is.
Despite their Fey origin, they are listed as monstrosities.
So, how long would it take to skin it, Justin?
Hours?
Hours? Shoot, we don't have hours.
It's a very large creature. I mean, it takes days to skin a deer. Properly.
Not like in Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah. It takes 3 clicks of the mouse and 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Alright, well, unfortunately we're going to have to proceed onwards.
Chult is still curled up and whimpering.
Well, I'll pull Chult and just say, we took care of it, Chult. You're okay now.
The beast is gone.
I'm sorry, Chult, what was that?
The beast is gone?
Yep.
Oh, good. Chult's gonna pass out for a while now.
What? But we need to keep moving, right?
He seems to slump down upon himself, and you do see an expanding ring of blood around him.
Raiken, get over here.
What?
Get over here.
As he walks over, he's still gonna say what?
Chult's in trouble.
What do you mean he's in trouble?
He's bleeding.
Bleeding.
Badly.
Can you heal
Well,
him,
if you
please?
said badly, I mean everybody bleeds a little bit.
He is unresponsive on the ground, and there is a dark pool on the rock around him.
Oh, I guess Raiken will... Let's see, hold on. Let me make sure which one I want to do.
The point of lay on hands.
Well, don't take forever. He's might be dying.
Hey, this isn't actually taking time. This is the freaking person trying to look at what he wants to do. Yeah, Raiken is going to use... he'll use 5 points of lay on hands.
Okay. As you kneel down next to this Deep Gnome and lay your hands on him, you can see the portion of his jacket, which is torn, rent by these 3 large claw marks that go deep into his flesh, that are streaming blood. As you lay your hands on him and give him these points of HP, you do see these wounds begin to magically close and heal over. They are scratches by the time you are done with them. Still trickling blood, but not the gouges they were.
Here, he should be okay now. For the most part.
He does seem to be, his face is covered in sweat, his pallor seems to be even more gray than normal.
Best as we can tell without any light, or at least with minimal light from the magma.
I mean, you get shades of gray, so he seems to be a lighter color. His breath is coming shallow, and he is not opened his eyes yet.
Well, I can roll medicine, right, to see if there's anything extra going on, or make sure that it's not going to get worse again. Right?
I mean, you could roll... He's still got cuts on him that aren't fully closed. You could roll medicine to administer bandages. Yeah, you could wrap those wounds.
Alright, do we have bandages, though? That's the question.
I mean, you've got all this fabric you're wearing. You've got that lovely silk that Cyrus is wearing. You just need the patches over the nipples.
I was
No.
I was debating whether I should make that joke or not.
We don't have that shirt anymore. I got a new one.
Does anyone have any cloth for us to use?
Did I remember to pick up a first aid kit?
I gotta double check.
I will say that any cloth that is used can be then cleaned and mended back into the clothing that it was taken from.
Get the nipple cloth.
I mean, I guess I probably still have it like in my bag or something in case of emergency. So I guess I'll give my old outfit.
So, Lyra, is she saying I could like rip some of my cloth on my outfit right now, and you can fix it in a bit?
I think that would make sense, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Grant
he
them
could,
to get
he
it
could
back.
tear it. He could tear it off into a rag for a bandage. He could administer it, and then later you could prestidigitate the blood away, and then use mending to reattach it to his garment.
Would you mind doing that, Lyra, please?
I would
Later.
be perfectly happy to in the future.
Okay, then
I will be perfectly happy to.
I will administer first aid then, Tristan.
Okay. You may roll your medicine check.
Oh, God.
Good roll.
It's
You
so
find that
long.
living bodies are a little bit harder to work with than corpses.
Yeah, I got a 1, so it's only a 5.
So, Raiken gets down and just begins manhandling this guy as he, tries to, Sorry, Yukikaze, begins just manhandling this guy as he tries to, tear back the clothing to expose the wound so that he can wrap it. And the wrap job is just, hackneyed to death. It's just, there isn't a nice wind to it. It's just, crisscrossing, and you just see the stain of blood blotting through immediately. As you're doing this...
Okay, wait, hold on. I'm right next to him. Do I see how messy this is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna push him away and do it for him. Because I got experience mending all the dead bodies. So I've learned how to cover wounds and shit like that.
I was there with you, remember?
Yeah, he had the same training.
Yeah, I'm still not confident with his skills, so I'm taking over anyway.
You may roleplay that.
So I get shoved out of the way by this little thing.
I mean...
I'm gonna give her a look by I haven't tried, what are you doing?
It wasn't good enough. Let me handle this.
Raw medicine.
Oh,
Please,
better.
5.
Do I have light or do I have...
Burr? 17.
Okay. You are able to remove the cloth that Yukikaze wrapped. It is stained with blood. And you can reapply it if you wish to.
Well, I clean it with prestidigitation first, and then reapply it better.
You do so. You ease his jacket over his shoulders, exposing the wound better, and you carefully wind the wrap around, tying a good knot afterward. By this time, he has opened his eyes. Says, "What are you doing to me?"
You were injured.
He kind of, without moving the rest of his body, he just sort of like tilts his head a little bit, and you can see his eyes tracking around somewhat wildly until he catches sight of you ministrating to his arm. I just thought it was much worse.
It was. We did everything we can to make it better.
You healed me.
Yes.
He, sort of begins to move his other arm across his body and prod at the wounded area, and you can see the patch, your new bandage, becoming red as he pushes blood out of the wound and into the bandage. It still hurts, but, thank you, masters.
You don't need to call us that.
Then he narrows his eyes at you. What would you have me say to express my gratitude for probably saving my life?
My name is Leah, and on the surface we call the voices of change. Well, the voice of change.
It's not good to know names down here. Not good at all. He starts to, cast about himself, try to find a way to, push himself to his feet without bumping into you.
You could just, if it bothers you, could just call us friends?
In these tunnels, there are only two kinds of friends, Master. The ones who are robbing your body, and the ones whose body you're robbing.
That's very disheartening.
He looks around at the group, and you notice that his eyes keep tracking back to the red-stained bandage on his arm. He slowly, pulls his jacket up over. You can see him wincing with the pain of pulling it up. He looks and says, this was my favorite jacket. I just got it 3 weeks ago. Nice chap. Too trusting. Just like you lot. He, slowly straightens himself up, leaning against the wall. You're really serious about going to Umberlight?
We are.
For the life of me, I can't understand why you'd want to do that. But I suppose I owe you at this point. We can't go this way. Gotta go back that way a bit. There's another path through. This runs through one of their nests. Den, whatever you call it.
Thank God we're not going that way.
Like yourselves.
Does it make any gesture towards the creature, or is it being more vague than that?
Yeah, no, he gestures at the creature.
Oh, okay, cool.
Right, just making
Then
sure.
I don't ask that question.
the right way isn't much less dangerous, but it's certainly shorter. I'm not going to apologize for deceiving you, Masters. You shouldn't be down here.
You know.
But you saved my life, so I suppose I can't very easily get you killed since I owe you one, don't I?
It would be appreciated.
Only a snark boy. Let's move. That still stings. He, like, turns to move, and Cyrus is standing there.
I'll get out of the way.
Well, that's why we do what we do, to the hope that things will work things will work themselves out.
Things always work themselves out. That's called nature. Eventually, something eats you. And it's worked itself out.
I was hoping in a more positive sense.
I don't know what kind of drivel they teach the children up on the surface, but down here there's one law of the land. Survival of those smart enough not to get killed by something stronger than them. Now then, I still expect to be paid.
That's fine.
None of that gold shit won't fly down here.
You never said what you wanted to be paid in.
Didn't I? I could have sworn I said.
I think you were just planning on us dying and then looting our corpses.
Well, I'll never admit to that. But yeah. Pretty much. In any event, the most valuable things to my kind are those gemstones, the rubies and sapphires and quartz and diamond. That is what I need to go home with. So if you've got that, you've got a guide.
I'll hold out a diamond worth 50 gold pieces. Will this do?
He's going to approach and look you in the eye closely and look down at it. And very quickly his hand is going to come across and he's going to try and swipe it from you. Are you going to stop him?
Yes. What do I need to roll?
Yeah, opposed sleight of hand.
Sleight of hand. Well, at least it's dex. 15.
He got a 22.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me, but it was worth a try.
So he snatches it out of your hand and, like, turns quarter away, looking at you. Seeing you, like, try to snatch your hand back and fail, you just see this, like, crack of a smile on his face, and he eyeballs it really closely. Can't see a damned thing. I'm gonna start patting the pocket. He's gonna reach up to pat the pocket of his vest and go,
I'll cast Dancing Lights.
He looks around at the orbs and says, a lovely thought, boy. I need my lens. It's in my right breast pocket.
Need help getting it?
He, like, presents his right breast to you.
I'll try and get it out gingerly.
Okay. You reach in and begin pawing around in his pocket. There are a couple of things in there, but one large one falls into your hand, seemingly roundish. So you draw that out.
I got something in my pocket for you, boy.
And as you draw it out, you do notice that in the shadow of your fingers, there appears to be a light blue glow to it, but as you hold it up in the light of the dancing lights, it doesn't appear to glow at all. It appears to be a metal cylinder with a piece of what looks like glass on the end of it. But it's not like a sheet of straight glass. You can see that there is a bit of a curve to this glass. Like somebody created, a warp or a bubble in the glass on purpose. It's very smooth.
Alright, I'll hand it to him.
Yes, that's it. He's going to, with the same hand he's now got the diamond curled into the 3 fingers, he takes it with his thumb and forefinger, and then he just takes the cylinder and seems to stuff it into his eye socket so that it covers his eye. And then he holds the diamond up in the light of your dancing lights and turns it slowly and says, Alright, yes, alright, fine. He hands you back the diamond and says, if you've got, and he starts, waving a finger in the air and kind of like he's counting. 6 more of those. We're good. Square. Once I get you to the city, of course, masters.
Let me check my sheet.
Yeah, I too just gonna have to check my sheets now.
We're still mentally linked, right?
But yeah.
Why you try haggling a little? It's like, well,
Yeah,
I have 4, or I have 2, 3. All right,
I'm
now
seeing
that's
how many
it.
I do have. Any of you have any gems to offer? Because this is all I got.
No, I don't. Sorry.
Yeah, I kind of need my diamonds for Revivify in case we die.
Yeah?
We do also have residuum for that.
You can never have too many casts for Revivify.
I mean,
Oh, I
you
agree.
can.
I don't appear to have any sort of thing like this.
Who is carrying the residuum and how much are they carrying?
I'm pretty sure that's Leah.
Yeah, I have 2 pouches of residuum.
I don't think you have 2 pouches left.
Yeah.
You've got less than 1.
Yes, that would be correct.
Each pouch carried 500,000 gold pieces worth of residuum, and last I checked you had 270 something worth left.
Because we blew it on making our fancy items we're wearing.
The number I have noted on my sheet is 462.
That's because there was an update to one of the items that was not informed to those of us keeping the books. So subtract, 150,000 from that.
It looks to me like you should have 283,000 left.
Was that the weapon you had, Cyrus, if I'm not mistaken, right?
No, that was that would be Jebel's armor, which doubled in price behind the scenes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's something I wasn't informed of. 283, you said.
283 is what it looks like to me, because I'm seeing that you had started with 1.5 million and you spent 1.217 million.
Yeah, in that case, it's only 1 pouch. But I don't plan to give any other residuum to this guy.
We also got back 16,000 because of that's what the net total is there for. Because of the items we turned into residuum. So the grand total would have been effectively what we spent.
Offering him residuum wasn't something that was brought up. It was that reagents we have other than it are something that we could consider parting with because of that.
You may want to explain that in character, Sam. Because I'm not sure the entire party is actually aware of how that works.
So when the Raiken had brought up the diamonds being used for Revivify, we don't need the diamonds for the spell. We can use the residuum instead. And so holding on to them isn't as important for the ability to cast more of the spell. It is convenient to have the diamonds, but especially if they are things that are more likely to be traded with here than the normal currency. But
Well, then I have some diamonds. If that is what we want to do.
I do feel that we should negotiate, though.
Yes. Come on, how about 3 worth this much? We just saved your life.
3 worth that much up front. The other 3 on arrival.
Come on, 6 is a little steep. Surely we can at least go down to 4.
Tell me something. How well do you know these tunnels? How many times have you been to Umberlight?
Not yet.
Interesting. And if I were to wander off down this tunnel confident that I could pass through that Displacer Beast nest without being harried by them, what would you do then?
Most likely use the magics at our disposal to find our way there without your help.
Then why didn't you do that from the beginning?
Because it's costly.
Is it?
And time-consuming.
More costly and time-consuming than giving me those diamonds?
Not more time-consuming, but probably a little cheaper.
Well, then it seems you have a decision to make. I don't need to be here.
But you do need our diamonds.
I want your diamonds. And
this would be the
until
easiest
5
way to
minutes
get
ago, I
them.
wanted everything else you had.
What if I add this Gnomon brass flute to the mix? It's something from Garland, an old gnome city.
Gnomes. Kind of gnomes. He looks at it and seems to almost sniff his way over to you. What is it?
Jebel will have rejoined the group at this point, having stored Displacer Beasts as the monstrosity
Yeah.
for wild check.
I point at Jebel and say, kind of like him, only less wild.
Rock gnomes.
And what is this place you said it's from?
Garland. It's an abandoned city that no longer exists.
Oh, aha. It no longer exists. Really interesting.
Which means that this is one of a kind.
What is it made of? He, reaches out and taps it with a long fingernail. Rings.
It's made of brass, I believe.
Brass is a common metal. Could make silverware out of it. You know how to play it?
Yes.
Really?
I believe.
It looks very complicated.
Yeah, can't play it well.
Tell you what. Tell you what, he says, turning back towards Cyrus.
Leah, I can actually play.
I'll take your 4 diamonds, 2 now, and she'll play me a song, and then we'll go.
Oh, top off, sound fair?
Sure. You want me to play it right now?
He's going to, like, open the other jacket pocket with his good arm and says, "It's safe, right? Yes. Yes. For now. And if she plays?
I know.
Alright.
Might attract more of those beasts if we're so close, though.
Alright, fine. He gently closes the jacket and pats it. That's alright. If you can play nicely. Daniel says we should be safe for 5 minutes.
Okay. I would take. I believe I still have that. Yeah. I would take out one of the books that has the songs in it from Garland as well, and pick a song and try playing it out. I found something that's.
Did you have those? I thought I had the music sheets. Because I was pretty sure I said I wanted to take them.
Did you keep them in your bag, or did you perhaps put them in the bag of holding?
I'm pretty sure I kept them with my stuff.
Yeah, I have one that says Book of Fairy Tales and Songs, but that might not have been from Garland. That might have been
Book of Fairy
from...
Tales and Songs, I think, was from Baranor.
Right,
Okay.
yeah.
Alright. Yeah, I still have the music sheets from Garland.
Yeah, you took 2, I think. One of them was like the Lullaby Garland, Lullaby something or another.
Yeah.
So long ago.
Yeah, it is. I know I had a lullaby. Let's see, I also have something that says songbook.
Without more detail than that, it's going to be hard to know. We'll have to talk about that.
All it says is songbook, so I have no idea where that's from. It's next to spell book, so I believe those are from... Oh, yeah, those are from the very, very for the beholder.
Braithen.
Yeah.
Fun times. I miss Braithen.
Yeah. I think I'll find a song that's mystical in tone.
Okay.
Because I feel that might fit in with this bloke.
Mm-hmm. You've spent some time in your traveling since Garland learning where the notes are, so you can try this song.
Yeah. Performance, then, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
While this is happening, I'm going to begin ritual casting Detect Magic.
Okay.
And I'll be negotiating with Raiken to make sure I have the diamonds in hand.
Okay. So you're trying to get another diamond from him and telling him he's going to owe 2 more later?
Yeah, that's 22.
Okay, you actually managed to perform the song pretty darn well. Like, you know, a little squeak here or there as you just haven't had a lot of time on this instrument, but you play it pretty competently. You spent some time while riding through the desert in those long days when the only other thing to do was study language, blowing on this thing and learning how to get it to produce good sound. So you blow this tune on this thing, and you had been looking, flipped through the book until you could find something that seemed kind of mystical. So you were looking at the layout of the notes on the page, trying to find something with some deep and whimsical low notes as well as some spikes of high. And what you landed upon, actually, especially as it reverberates through the cave around you and echoes in the chamber nearby, comes back to you very hauntingly in its deep and mournful tones. And the spikes feel like those moments of uncertainty in the story. The song seems to tell the tale of a mother who was providing for her family and went out to the market to trade on a beautiful sunny day, and when she came home, war had come to her town as an invading army had come in, and it tells the tale of her trying to find her family and get them out when the soldiers invade, and it is a sad and dolorous song as it ends. It continues to echo through the cave as you remove the flute from your lips, and you can feel in those sharp notes and the low vibrations that come back to you the sorrow and the fear of this family as they tried to survive. And as you absorb the meaning of the song, as you felt it through the notes, you hear a light patter as Chult, standing nearby, grins at you, using his offhand to put his lens contraption back into his pocket. As well, that was quite lovely. You don't often hear songs like that down in these lonesome tunnels, so thank you. He, takes his offhand and flourishes it in a mock high society bow toward you. Thank you, Leah, for sharing that with me. And just as quickly, his eyes snap to the side and says, "Well, where are my diamonds?"
I hand him the diamonds.
Takes them again and rolls them in the palm of his hand. Squints at them a little. Holds them up to, really close to one of your dancing lights. Goes, "Very well. Good. Alright. Let's get out of here." And he begins leading you on a different path, which, utilizing the compass of this screen, would take you in a more southerly direction and back toward the west a bit. It takes you through many dark caves that are tighter, smaller, feeling more like they were formed by the passage of water than by diggers of any kind, as more of them are filled with stalagmites, stalactites, and straight support beams of rock left behind by the flows. And it is a long time before you find yourself in the more open caverns again. And when the path finally does start to open up and you start to see that dim haze of phosphorescent light, which marks one of the larger caverns filled with bioluminescent mushrooms, he finally audibly exhales and says, "Sorry for all the quiet," and you realize as he says this that it has been probably hours that you've been moving quickly and in silence. You'll find that you feel very tired now, and not just from your fights, because we needed to move quickly away from where we were. With the amount of attention that I had you draw, it was going to be well trodden very soon. I took us through the most direct paths away that I could, so now we're going to turn course again. You all look rather winded. He points out, and again, you do feel like this is the kind, especially through the terrain, without any concept of the time of day, by the passage of sun, and having to, for at least, especially, rather, the Dragonborn, having to squeeze your way through tight spaces, low ceilings. It's been, very exhausting moving through this terrain. But he moves deftly, and no further creatures have assaulted you.
When I finished casting Detect Magic,
Indeed.
because it only lasts 10 minutes.
Right.
Did I detect anything coming from him?
From him?
Yeah. If he was within, what was it, 30 feet?
Oh, yeah, no, you'd be able to get him within it. I'm trying to think if he has anything magic on him.
I also didn't want to interrupt your dialogue at all. I just wanted to make a comment to Leah as we were walking earlier and say, I could have wrapped his bandages good. It's just he's so small. And you got small hands.
Excuses.
Leah?
Yeah.
Did you want to respond?
Sorry, I missed what you said.
I was just saying that I could have wrapped those, but earlier part of the walk as we were leaving, I wanted to say that I could have wrapped those bandages. It's just he's so small, and you got small hands.
Sure. Yes.
Sure, you coulda.
Just I mean, sometimes you need a gentle touch.
That's all. It was just a little extra I wanted to say.
No, he doesn't seem to have any magic items on him.
I mean, I didn't want to take from your pride, big boy. But you were making a mess.
Big boy.
In regards to, can never remember the NPC's names.
Chult.
In regards to Chult's question, or I guess observation, I'll say, yes, we're not used to traveling like this. At least, like, not at this pace, this kind of terrain. Is there a chance this would be a safe place to rest for a minute?
No, not for some time. Can you keep going?
I think we can. We must try.
This is a very dangerous place to stop. This is a crossroads. This cavern here, he indicates the ceiling around you. This is the meeting point of several territories of different tribe of drow. I don't want to stay here longer than we have to, because if we get spotted, it will be unpleasant.
Do these tribes fight each other?
Sometimes. Usually. It's always vying for resources down here. Of course, sometimes they get together and cavort with whatever they've taken from the surface. Not so much that they share it, so much as they show it off. And, you know. In any event, the drow barely put up with each other. Much less the other races around here. The only ones on even footing here are the Dwergar. And that's just because they won't take the drow shit. But old Chult knows that if he's on his own, they don't want to see a gnome.
Then I guess we better keep moving.
That would be best.
Are gnomes generally disliked?
I don't know any other deep gnomes who would, follow the Spider Queen, and they tend to dislike those who don't take orders from their goddess. Again, they put up with the Dwergar because while there are some Dwergar who do swing that way, if you will, the others are simply built of tougher stuff than old Chult. They're dwarves, after all. Poisonous to boot. Or is it venomous? Chult can never remember. In any event, He puts a finger to the side of his nose and he begins looking around, like kind of stretches himself a little bit taller than his tiny form to try and see over some of the nearby stalagmites. Says, we need to go anywhere but here, but in... He like licks a finger and puts it to the air as though testing the wind. That way. Okay. Follow Chult. Stick to the edges of the cavern as best you can, and try to be one with the shadows or whatever.
So, before the 10 minutes runs out in the Detect Magic, I am going to check Bendar.
Okay, Vendar does have magic items, not his bow. He's got the hat, I know that's magic. Vendar, are there any other parts of you that glow? You've got magic potions of healing or anything?
Armor's magic.
Your armor's magic?
I'm going to ask, can I see... Squeakers? What's it? Lord Squeakers?
Squeakers.
Lord Squeakers the second.
Okay. I will pull out Lord Squeakers the second. Yo, buddy.
Hey there.
Squeaks.
Nice squint at him.
Pops his head out of the thing and lift him out of his pocket, and he curls up into a ball in your hand and tries to nuzzle into the crook of your thumb. And as you squint at him, he appears at first as a normal ferret. But as you focus more time and energy on him, you do feel, you can sense a faint aura of magic about him. Not like a magic item. He does not glow brilliantly. It's almost, if you hadn't been trying so hard, you might not have seen it. In fact, you are trying so hard, you begin to wonder if you are causing yourself to see it because you want to see it. If you're tricking yourself into seeing it. And you begin to feel as though maybe that's what's going on, that you've fooled yourself into seeing something that isn't there. Until he finally finishes digging himself into the crook of Vendar's hand and looks over at you and chirps, and you can see his eyes are glowing with a purple light.
Can I detect magic from him aside from the visual thing? Like, detect magic has you...
Conjuration.
Sense the presence of magic. Okay. Conjuration means...
Divination.
Divination means...
Evocation. These three schools are what you sense as you look into the swirling orbs of this ferret's eyes. And you did have to muster a great deal of focus to notice this. It was not plainly obvious like most magic items.
List that just explains...
What schools of magic you sense.
Oh, yeah, like what do they actually do? Like necromancy, you know...
So conjuration is the creation or summoning of an object using magic, either pulling an object from one place into another, or forming magic into a solid object new. Evocation is the channeling of the forces of the elements, which include fire, ice, lightning, and healing. And divination is knowing things about another place or another person.
I'm going to ask Leah if Lorelei is present.
Yeah.
Can I see her?
Why?
I'm testing something.
Okay, just for a quick moment. I don't want her to catch any unwanted attention.
You just hear this disembodied voice go, I don't want to go over there.
Is she included in telepathic bond?
Good question.
No, but she knows what Leah wants her to do. But also, no, I don't think she was included in the telepathic bond.
Unless Leah and her had explicitly asked for that to be the case, then no, it wouldn't be. I can't very well like touch her with the spell if I can't see her.
No.
You just hear this disembodied voice from somewhere around the vicinity of Leah's head say, I don't want to go over there. What does he want? He's creepy.
It was just Jebel.
He's being creepy.
Can you come over here?
Don't bring him over here. You actually feel her, like, stalk around behind your neck.
Why are you suddenly afraid of Jebel?
Being weird. You spent a whole, like, 2 minutes just staring at a ferret.
He does that though. He's stare oddly at animals. That's just Jebel.
Just heard, like, a much quieter voice go, so, are you gonna marry the ferret?
I don't think she really wants to, Jebel.
Okay, there's something weird about this ferret. This is telepathy now. So I suppose everyone...
Everyone on the telepathy is gonna hear it, so you are telling Vendar.
Like, there's magic in there somewhere, and I don't fully understand what it is.
Wait, what?
What? I'm gonna activate my detect magic as well, since I can do that free.
Just so you know, if you do that, you're gonna lose hex.
That is true.
Concentration spells.
I'm gonna keep hex. So no, I won't.
Okay.
When we stop next, I could cast Identify on Squeakers.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, is this something we should be worrying about right now when we're trying to get someplace quickly?
This is all happening very early on in our...
Yeah, this is like during the walk, like at the beginning, before everything, he just started quietly led you through many tunnels very quickly.
Okay, sorry.
And like you're all like doing this telepathically for the most part. So really, just when Leah starts talking to Lorelei is when you would have Chult shushing you. Anytime you go above like a very quiet whisper, you hear, "Quiet, Daniel. They'll hear you."
I mean, I can speak telepathically to Lorelei. The problem with that is that then the you guys will be able to hear what Leah says, but not what she gets as a reply. So it would be like when Raiken talks to Cooper.
So they're used to it.
Yeah, good point.
We are.
I'm going to summon my familiar and then just see if I can see anything.
Okay. You, what do you have to do to summon it? Like, how long does it take, or is this... It was banished, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Just an action, I think.
Okay. Then, yeah, you flip your hand out, do a dramatic gesture, and poof, this crow, this raven, near as big as you are, appears on your arm, and immediately you feel your arm weighed down by it. Quiet little cackle.
I'm just gonna look.
Okay. You see
Same.
that its body is glowing with the light of conjuration magic, as well as evocation. Much more obviously than the ferret.
Yeah, let's hope it doesn't call loudly, because the echo in the tunnels will make that very awkward.
And then I'm gonna banish him again.
He's gone.
That's weird.
In the case of looking toward Leon Lorelei, you are aware that there is magic over there, but you can't identify its school or its exact source while she's invisible.
So I'm not a familiar. Something.
And I think they're saying bad things about your ferret.
He's a good boy. I don't know why he's magic, but he's a good boy. Aren't you, Squeakers? Yeah, you are. Yes, you are.
It chirps happily at you and tries to dive into the collar of your shirt.
I'll hold him tight and give him little head scratches.
Does appear to enjoy them. He seems like a normal, very affectionate ferret to you. It certainly comforts you to have him and his warmth nuzzled up against you as you maneuver through these dark caves.
Yeah,
You got him up a drow, didn't you?
I did find him when we were cleaning the bodies of the drow.
Huh.
Wait, he was on a drow?
He was what now? What schools of magic were on him?
Oh, I can't remember.
Conjuration, invocation, divination.
Consider, oh Jesus Christ! Considering I forgot. I don't know if Jekyll did.
Probably.
Conjuration, divination, evocation.
What are the chances, as this was from his troops, this belongs to your pal Rowan?
What?
It has divination magic on it. It could very well be a spy.
But he's my little buddy. If you try to hurt him, I will kill you.
I'm not trying to hurt him. I'm just saying we could be in very, very deep crap.
He's my little buddy.
I would like to identify the ferret when we have the chance.
I'm fine with it.
And you could dispel something off of him without hurting him?
As long as the creature is just spelled and is not created by the spells, if I dispel it, it could
Poof.
Nullify. No, if it is actually a ferret with magic cast upon it, then I could likely dispel the magic on it.
I don't know that it's actually a ferret because it can't talk to me, or it hasn't spoken to me.
What if it is Rowan?
Then we would likely be seeing transmutation magic as well.
Oh, okay.
Unless Rowan is able to cast Nistral's magic aura as a ferret on himself, or was willing to be a ferret for a month and have someone cast it on him as a ferret.
And wouldn't that magic be obvious?
Not with Nistral's magic aura. You can make something that is magic appear non-magic. You can make something non-magic appear magic. You can make something magic appear different magic. It's quite the useful spell if you can take the time to make it permanent.
Basically, you could be a jerk.
Wendar, how come you always have so bad luck with pets?
We shall have to see what the Identify says. Perhaps he has good luck.
He's a good boy, and if you try to hurt him, I'm not going to be responsible for the actions that I take.
But what if it is Rowan? You wanted to make him go.
He's my little buddy. We can talk about this later.
He climbs up on your shoulder and, like, sticks his nose in your ear. His whiskers really tickle your head.
Aww.
Is he brainwashed? Should I use remove curse?
He certainly is acting enthralled by this creature.
Alright, let's just... We're gonna keep moving. As long as we don't stop, I won't say anything.
Climbs down again into the front pouch on your belt and just, like, pokes its head out like it's riding in a ship.
In his little hat.
Jebel, how...
Right, in his little tricorn.
Jebel, how come you noticed this in the first place?
Oh, I've noticed that he wasn't speaking to me.
But you asked to see him, why?
Oh, I had Detect Magic cast to check out Chult, and then I remembered, oh yeah, I can check creatures.
And what did that has to do with Lorelei?
In case he was just a familiar that was summoned. But I saw from my familiar that they appear to be... Familiars appear to be slightly more intrinsically magical.
Now, wouldn't Jubble have been able to see in Lorelei anyway because the invisibility is magic?
That's why I asked her to become visible, but she didn't want to.
You can tell that there is magic there in the vague area, but in order to identify the schools of magic on something, you need to be able to see it.
If the object in it is invisible, you can't tell where it is or what schools the magic are of it that are on it. You can just tell vaguely the direction it's in from you, and you know,
it's like,
that it's within 30 feet.
Yeah, it's like I sense magic in that direction.
Yeah.
Which is what I described for Jebel when he looked for Lorelei. Alright.
You said you were going to go to bed, so...
I did. So, I just want to know, since, Chult was hurrying you through these tunnels up until this point, where you've entered this large cavern that he is now not happy about being in, or that he has to go nearly across the entire thing, you said it took you a few hours to get there. Would you have been recasting, stopping to recast telepathic bond when it ran out during that period, or when the first one lapsed, would you allow his momentum to carry you along and just remain silent?
I would have pushed to be able to recast it. Whether other people would have been on my side on that, I don't know. But Laramentis would have wanted to stop to recast.
At best, he would have always been uneasy and trying to dissuade you from doing it. In the best case scenarios. There would be, because you would be casting it, say, 3 times to cover all of that. Especially the very first one, he'd say, we really need to just keep moving. But as you get further and further from the first location, he'd be more and more willing to stop. Well then, I think that's all fine. And I think that the party want telepathic bond up all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so, it's handy.
Yeah. So, just from that, there'd be enough clout against him that he'd have to just accept it and wait for you to finish your castings when you did that. So, tack on another 30 minutes to get to this location. And we'll pick it up here next time as he's told you to stick to the edge of this cavern as he tries to circumnavigate it to get to the exact tunnel he wants. And he said, try becoming one with the shadows or whatever.
Also gives us a second of repose while we were traveling.
And ding ding, we finally have a winner, Jebel. Took you long enough. Alright.
I was going to do it earlier, but then I was going to do it before the thing shut up, the Displacer Beast.
Oh, yeah?
But then it was like, that just happened, and it just... What do you call it? It slipped my mind.
Well, remember it for next time. Alright. And decide how you're going to want to cast it. Or, I don't think you can cast it ritually. It's stored, right?
Yeah.
So it's just an action, so you can just boof. Okay, cool. So,
everyone has Pass Without Trace.
There you go.
Plus 10 to your stealth.
That will be useful.
Puts me at a plus 17.
So you literally...
Or Raiken's still gonna screw it up.
Literally become one with the shadows as you sneak around the edge of this cavern. Alright.
13.
Clayton Scott's at a disadvantage. Might actually be stealthy for once.
I mean, with a plus 10, that does overwrite the, more or less the average of -5 that disadvantage gives. So.
I have a question about my character too, Tristan.
Okay.
The pluses on the weapons are purely the weapons, right? None modify for the damage on the dice roll. Is anything added to that automatically by D&D Beyond, or is
everything should be added automatically? So, it's looking directly at whether you attack. So, like, if you look at your light crossbow, you roll 1d20 plus 6. That's everything.
It can't tell if something's on my offhand or on an offhand though, so it wouldn't be adding. Because I just realized something is like I was really re-looking over my character, and I noticed that 2-weapon fighting. When you engage in 2-weapon fighting, you can add your ability modifier to the damage of your second attack.
Yeah.
So that's your offhand, correct?
Right.
Yep.
So I don't think I've been doing that.
if you're using the number that it shows you on D&D Beyond, then you're doing it right.
But I can't choose.
You don't add it twice. You just add it. So normally when you fight with your offhand, if you don't have 2-weapon fighting style, you don't get your bonuses. You roll a normal d20 with your modifiers to hit, but then you just roll the damage die with no pluses for damage.
I'm an idiot. Yeah. That's
So
right.
by having 2-weapon fighting, you get to treat it as though it's in your dominant hand, and you get your bonuses to damage as normal.
Oh my god, my brain tonight.
It's okay. So yeah, all the numbers that are there are the right numbers, because no matter what hand it's in, you treat it like it's a normal weapon with no modifiers, no extra modifiers.
My brain, it's just like, no. I think it's time for bed.
Okay, well then, thank you everybody for coming together. I know we had a little bit of a later start, but I think everything worked out in the end, and I hope you guys had a good time. It was interesting the way things worked out. Everything is always in motion and always uncertain how different situations are going to play out, so I found that interesting. I thought that perhaps you would end up chasing that displacer beast into the den and have to deal with all of them, but that didn't happen. So, very interesting.
I am now terrified of a ferret.
and now you're terrified of a ferret. Didn't plan on that either.
Yeah. So terrifying. Did we get XP?
Oh, right. Give me just a second.
Did we finish the fight from last session?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody got XP for that.
Yeah, I got some.
Did you get yours, Mel?
I don't know. I don't remember
I think it was either 900 or 1,000.
It was 900.
I mean, I don't think anyone had left yet when it said the XP last time.
Yeah, I think I
mean, it's probably on the recording, so I can probably check there.
Yeah, well.
Sadly not in the chat, so you'll have to check the recording.
My thing is just I'm so far behind. I gotta make sure I don't miss any EXP.
Alright, well, write this one down. 600 EXP.
Oh, no, adding it right away. Done.
Everybody gets 600 EXP for the Displacer Beasts.
Nice.
I'm about 6,000 away from a level.
14.
So, you know.
And 2,189.
That puts you at 14, doesn't it?
Yep.
No,
No,
puts me
13. Put me at
13.
Put us 13.
Okay, maybe I'm not as bad as I was before.
I am just shy of 3,000 away.
Why?
Did I ever tell you about the hamster I had one time?
Good night, guys.
Night.
Night, Mal.
Right.